Good evening. It's Viola Holmes, dietitian and diabetes educator, and it's great to be back with you all one more time for some nutrition nuggets. So it's Black History Month, as I shared on last week. And the theme this year is health and wellness. So I always think about that through John scripture, beloved, wish above all things that thou mayest prosper and be in health, even as thy soul prosper. So, with scripture, we can enforce healthy eating and being active and taking care of ourselves. And so, I thought tonight that I'd talk about some strategies for eating out. We all, enjoy eating out from time to time. Some people maybe more than others. It might be a part of your regular lifestyle to grab food on the go. So it's important to have some strategies in place if you do eat out frequently. Every once in a while, you want to go out and enjoy yourself. But like for instance, next week, Valentine's is coming up. So if someone's taking you out for lobster tail and steak, enjoy yourself. But it's the everyday, it's the routine. It's the, Saturdays I eat out and Sundays after church I eat out. And, Tuesday mornings I grab something. It's all these times of eating out that it can really derail any progress that you make or really, have an effect on your overall healthy eating strategies. So often I ask people, what are some challenges with eating out for you? And everybody, a big one is, you know, large portion sizes. So, because it's things like potatoes or French fries, noodles, things like that, they're cheap for restaurants. They cost pennies. And so they load it up and they supersize it. So those large portions are an issue. And even in, restaurants, sit down restaurants, portions are an issue. Another challenge that I hear is, there are limited healthy choices on the menu. Um, and then, those tempting foods. I shouldn't get that cheesecake or that double fudge sundae, but it's there and I'm going to get it. And then there's that I'm going to get my money's worth, right? I hear that often, or you can see that, particularly when people go to places like buffets. They want to get their money's worth. And also, then there's the issue of really not knowing what's in the food. So there are definitely challenges with eating out. Um, so think about the kind of place that you do make healthier choices at. And there's I forgot to mention the fast food or, the drive-through type place. It's always, and as I always mention from week to week, having a plan, whether it's for cooking at home or eating out or, for planning your meals, you really need to take some time. So if you use a computer, and if you're watching now, you use a computer, or if you use your phone, take some time to look at the restaurant that you're going to. The nutrition information for the restaurants is online. You can Google it. There are lots of apps even that have all of the different restaurants. So you can go with a plan in place. Maybe you're going to a local mom and pop Italian restaurant, but you can maybe get some ideas from other restaurants that are online. But so try to, if at all possible, have your plan before you go there, excuse me. So, look at that menu in advance and decide what you're going to have. Even before you get to that drive-through. And most people know, we know what the options are at Chick-fil-A, right? But there's some trigger things that we can look at the menu, and they're positive triggers. If you see the word like grilled, the grilled chicken we know is a healthier choice. So how can you look for terms that are healthier, whether it's a fast food or a sit down restaurant or you're ordering takeout? Um, you know, the other things to look for, if it's baked. So having, something baked as opposed to fried is always going to be a winner, or broiled. So how are the foods cooked? Look for healthy. Lots of restaurants and menus have an icon of some type that says it's a healthy choice or it's the light choice, or they may have a separate section on their menu. Look for those lighter choices and see if there are options that you would enjoy in that light menu. Or maybe you can do a combination. You're willing to have the grilled fish, but you really want some, French fries with it. Okay, but it's better than having the fried fish and the French fries to kind of mix and match those items. so that you're not having, everything that's deep fried and really rich. And there are things light, even if you think about the salad dressings, that you can save a lot of calories. And we talked about fat last week by having a lighter salad dressing. Could that be the thing that you go for in making that eating out healthier? Um, and steamed. So there are some clues that you can look for, words to look for on the menu that mean that they're healthier choices. Um, Places that are a sit down tend to be a better choice other than, grab and go kinds of takeout restaurants. But back to ideas for those portion sizes at restaurants. So think about what you can do or what you can ask for so that you're not eating as much at that meal. A lot of restaurants will allow adults to order a child's meal if there are options on the children's menu that's healthy. So you can always look at that. Often they have a grilled chicken or they have, items on that menu. Can you share with somebody if you like doing that? A lot of people don't want to do that. They want their own meal, but that could be an option. So, and the children's portions really comes in if you're doing fast food. You can get a Happy Meal with that smaller cheeseburger and smaller fries, and or it even comes with fruit or something. That's can be a really good way to go if you're not going to do it in a sit down restaurant. Um, but again, if you're not, you can share or can you, sometimes we say, oh, I'm not going to eat all of this. You get it, but you just start maybe conversating with somebody else and it tastes really good and just kind of keep on going for it. So the strategy that we often use is to, once you get the food, ask for a box at that time and box half of it up before you even get started. And then, you can kind of spread the rest of it around on your plate so it looks like a larger portion if that's what you'd like to do. But that tends to work better than waiting to box at the end of the meal because it takes the waitress forever to get back. And again, you're just kind of, or the person that you're with is still eating. You're just kind of, it's like, oh, I know I'm full. Why do I continue to do this? So box half of it before you even start eating would be another thing for portion sizes. And ask, for, smaller portions. A lot of restaurants are doing a lot of things to accommodate people now because they want you to come there. So you can ask, do they do this in a light portion? And some of them will. I would say, don't be concerned about asking. Just say yes or no. And also sometimes, restaurants like Asian restaurants, even some Mexican restaurants, they often have like health. We think about healthier choices. You may not see the brown rice on the menu, but you can ask them, do they have brown rice? And often they do have it and they'll provide that to you as an option. So ask for things served differently. Ask for the dressing on the side. Ask if they can leave off the sauce if there's, sauce, or can they just put the sauce that's supposed to be on the meat or the gravy or whatever, can they put that on the side for you so that you have more control over how much of that higher fat item that you eat? And ask them how things are prepared or if they can, cook something a slightly different way. People have a lot of health needs now and different situations where they need their foods prepared differently. So, again, always ask. Ask even how things are made if you're not sure, if you want to be cautious. Again, it's if the waitress doesn't know, then they can find somebody in the back who does know. Another thing that's always helpful, a good strategy is to make healthy swaps. Okay, so that kind of goes back to, if instead of the fries, having the baked potato with butter or sour cream or just a little bit of each, or getting some extra veggies instead of, something that may be a bit higher in fat. If you're going to have a sandwich, again, double the veggies and maybe try to limit how much of the starchy food that might be higher in fat that you have. I think talked about items on the side. Sometimes the salads like, coleslaw, a lot of restaurants, the dressing's pretty fatty. So instead of that, can you get a salad? And again, the dressing's on the side to make it a better choice. And then with desserts, you really want to have a dessert. That's something we'd say, if you don't want to share your entree, think about sharing the dessert with someone else if you're going to have that. Or can you just have, half of it? So Again, it's better though to have it at a restaurant than to buy a whole pie or a whole cake to have at home. So having a smaller amount when you're out. What about the beverages? Some of those really large glasses of teas, soda, punch, if you're having alcohol, those are loaded with calories. Um, you can easily get, one glass, depending on how sweet the tea is, you can easily get 250 calories, and especially if it's like raspberry tea or mango tea, or tea, then you then put more sugar in it, or those sodas. So you're thinking about at least a couple hundred calories with a sweet drink. So is that worth it to you? Do you want to try to have water, or unsweetened tea with a Splenda, or a diet soda, or a seltzer kind of sparkling water if the places offer that? Or what about if you're having coffee, cream and sugar in it? So again, think about the drink as a way of something to work with. If you really want to enjoy that meal, but you want to do something a little different, you can save a lot of calories that way. Have the lemon in the water, or some other kind of fruit. Maybe a lot of places have some ideas, or some kind of liquid or something that they can give it a little bit of flavor without that added sugar. So you have to really be creative, when you go out. And I'm not saying to change everything so that you leave, you get back from the restaurant and you're like, oh, I did not enjoy that at all. I took all the fun out of the meal. Pick and choose. Again, is it grilled fish with a few French fries, or is it going to be a baked sweet potato, and you want to have a small portion of a sautéed, or maybe that piece of fried meat that you don't have, or that piece of red meat that you don't have that often, but the sides are going to be healthier, and leave that butter off the roll. And what about those restaurants that bring you the bread at the table, right? You could maybe tell them not to, or wait until the meal comes, so that you're not kind of eating several pieces or several biscuits before the meal gets there, but just kind of, can you bring that with the meal? Or if there are 3 people in your party, only bring 3 so that each of us has 1. So think about those things when you're going out, that can save you some calories, or you can reduce the fat in it, or just to make some healthy modifications. Appetizers are pretty big sometimes. So can an appetizer be your entree instead of getting a full size entree? So a side salad and an appetizer as the meal, that can save a lot of calories and fat. I'm just looking at my little list here, make sure I cover the big points. So that's eating out at restaurants, fast food. Check. Plan before you go again. And if you just think through in your head, I'm going to get one healthier item, or I'm going to order, I'm going to do better with, whatever the appetizers this time. I'm not going to have as much. Just come up with that one thing that you're going to do different, and start visualizing yourself doing it. So then when you get there, it's not as hard to do it. And even that, eating out at social events. Again, we have Valentine's coming up, and with, hopefully we'll be more social, even more again, since the COVID numbers are going down. But, when you go out and be social, enjoy the social activities and less of the food. Those kinds of things can be really helpful. So, we've been over kind of the main things, the challenges, come up with a strategy for portion sizes, come up with a strategy for making some healthier swaps, and think about the type of place even that you're getting food from. And are you able to come up with, a place that maybe has better choices? Because there are some places that have very limited healthy choices. And what about those tempting foods that you're going to face? What do you want to do about that? And again, it's your plan, but it's just the whole mindset of getting my money's worth, that kind of thing can get us in trouble. So stay away from that type of thinking. You want to get a meal that you enjoy, and that's, again, and depending on how many times a week you do eat out. A good goal, if you know that you eat out several times a week, goal would be to reduce the number of times, really, because of all of the sodium and all of the fat. And it's just some of these restaurants really not good for heart health. Even when you pick, a healthier choice, if you look at that nutrition, sometimes it is healthier than the regular items, but you could do it at home for a lot better nutrition, and sure save yourself some money. Okay, So think about these healthy eating tips and even healthy strategies for cooking as we celebrate Black History Month and all the rich foods of our culture. Enjoy in right-sized portions, though, and maybe make some modifications. All right? So until next time, be healthy, be safe, and think about one thing to do to improve your eating out, or even if it's eating at home. If you don't eat out a lot, what can you do to improve some of your healthy eating tips at home? God bless. Until next time. Bye-bye.